couple minutes late, but we'll get, and I guess we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Yes.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do you need something for you?
I'll calm down pretty soon.
All righty, I see we have a few people on Zoom. And we have a guest in the room. And we have
Greg Westbrook,
and you're here for the German Brothers?
that's correct. I can make a request that, since it seems to be lightly attended tonight, can I ask for earlier in the agenda to ponder such discussion? Or if you have written documentation already, I'd be glad to take that and.
We don't have anything written up yet. We've got, what we'll do is we'll go through some of the referrals that we have as well.
Okay,
So we'll do the people that are attending, and then we'll do the German Brothers, and we'll
great, thank you.
loop back around to the referrals that don't have anyone attending. We usually cover our referrals a lot faster than planning board, so. Let's see. Back to the agenda. Share this. Oh, it's busy sometimes. I wish we had two screens. Have that in the other room. The courtroom has two screens, and it does make it a little easier moving some stuff around.
And you're very good at it. I don't.
Privilege of the floor, approval of minutes. I have a motion to approve the October 5th minutes.
Yes, you may.
And a second.
I will second.
All
Tag
in-
team, huh, Edith?
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. We have a privilege of the floor. If anyone is here want to speak out on something that isn't on the agenda, happy to have you talk now. All right, we'll move on. Development office.
We are currently updating with your help, updating a lot of stuff on the cloud permit, making it a lot more streamlined and easier for people to use. And yeah, it's coming along with that. That is an ongoing dynamic process, learning that and adjusting it. Other than that, we are catching up. We may have to have a couple extra zoning meetings to make things work and fit before the end of the year, but everybody's been on board, so we're moving along. We're catching up to that big rush we had through August and September. So.
Thank you so much. Referrals from the town board. We do have one tonight. It's the incentive zoning for German Brothers Marina, and we'll cover that one shortly. CIC, is there any?
I personally do not know. Last time there was one like at 3 o'clock before this one happens at 4:30, but I do not know if one happened today. I apologize for that. I didn't receive an email, so I'll look into it.
Hi,
I
Gary.
will look into it. Hi, Gary.
We just started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair.
I didn't hear anything either, so I
No.
don't know what's
No.
going on there.
think-
Ordinance committee, they will be reviewing short-term rentals again next week. I think they're also working on accessory dwelling. I think that's the other thing that's on their agenda. That, we'll move on. Let's see. Just looking to see who's here, who's. Kara, I think you're up.
Did you say my name?
Yeah, I did. You're next on our agenda for people that are in attendance right now.
Okay, great.
If you'd like to tell us about your application, I'll bring up the cloud permit documents while you're.
Okay. So I wasn't really prepared to present anything, but I can just share with you that we're looking to build a barn on our property, which is probably, I think, 3 3/4 acres. It's a 26-foot by 40-foot garage barn. It would be built behind our cabin that's up on top of the hill. The reason that we, I think, are before you is because we need a zoning variance for the height. We have the maximum height for our size of barn is 22 feet. Our design is 23 feet 8 inches.
Anyone have any questions or comments that they would like to make on this?
I'd like to see the location. I wasn't.
Can we see the encore,
Yeah,
please?
and I'm curious as to whether it's on a ridge line or anything. Since I was incompetent to access.
Can you get into cloud permit?
Not well.
I'll come over and
I
help
can
you
do
one of
on
these
quite
days.
nicely, but I'm.
I'm here Mondays and part of Wednesdays. If you ever want
Okay.
to stop by, we can,
And tutorials, that would be.
yeah, be happy to help.
Edith, it's never too late to learn new
Well, I can,
things.
I have learned many things, but
This is another new
Oh,
one.
this is basic at the beginning.
it has unfortunately coincided with a whole bunch of Thanksgiving music and a brass quintet. Company. So much stuff going on.
Where's the,
Okay.
and Kara, you're looking at putting the barn like someplace like here, if I remember.
Do you see, yeah, if you go, the arrow move a little bit more towards the top, you see that little white dot? That's where we were storing our boat. It's right about there.
Can you blow up the image a little more,
Sure,
Kim?
yeah.
There we go. All
Okay,
right.
all right,
Mhm.
okay.
So you're not looking at clearing much in the way of trees?
No, there's a little bit to the south of that boat, there's a dead ash, unfortunately. You know, we all have a few dead ashes on our properties,
Yeah.
but that's it, and a couple of saplings.
Okay.
Okay. Could we see the contours?
That's a layers thing. I think it's under that, right, Mike?
Yeah, you can almost there, it's all the way at the bottom. There it is.
It's the percent slope.
Percent, yeah, percent.
Yeah, there it is, she's moving, it's flat.
Yeah, it's pretty
Mhm.
flat where she is there. Okay.
Hmm.
No, I was just wondering when the ridge line was there and if the extra height was going to break the ridge line.
And I see there is a stream that runs here along the edge.
Share a good way away from the stream.
Yeah. But maybe, dealing with the drainage off of the barn roof would be appropriate.
Yes, always,
Yeah,
always.
How big is the barn?
It's 26 by 40.
Okay.
I think that's what, 1,040 square feet.
Yeah.
There is a barn plan in her application. There's some letter or two neighbors saying that they're fine with the barn and
I think my big thing would be to minimize the tree cutting, which
Yeah.
you indicated, and dealing with the runoff from the barn roof, so we don't have any extra water going to the stream course.
Yeah, or down the hill
Right.
house. French drains would be a addition to it, yeah, it'd take
Yeah.
care of infiltrating extra runoff.
So French drain, now, are you also talking about the gutter system on the barn itself?
Well, yes, but a French drain is a place around the perimeter of the foundation,
Okay,
little ways away where that drainage can go and be infiltrated into the soil instead of running off to the top of the ground, which
Right.
would probably protect your house some too.
right, absolutely. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Okay.
That,
That's fine.
yeah, if you have any lighting on the barn, dark sky compliant would be appropriate too.
Right now, we do not have a electrical plan for the barn,
All right,
but
if you take some time, that would be, it's
Yeah.
just to help prevent light pollution and help
Yeah.
keep our skies a little darker. So,
all right, for sure.
did anyone else have any comments?
Nothing here.
Mm-mm.
That's it. What we do is we send our recommendations to the planning board. And that would include like the French drains and things like that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If I'd known I was going to be first, I would have come in person. I just had but thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, I know.
And we have Adrian, would you like to talk about your application while I'm pulling things up?
Yeah, good evening. This was for a variance because the pool is actually considered to be in the front yard, not the rear yard. It's between the house and County Road 16. We did actually originally get planning permission and put the pool in before we got the order to stop. There was some concern about the possibility of soil erosion. I believe that the soil has been stabilized. We have it seeded. There is straw matting in place and hydro seeding on top of that. There is
That one too.
a waterway to a dry bed to divert water away from the natural rivulet there. The pool is not visible from the road and is not overlooked. And I did provide you with an updated plan, which has a little inset about the mentioning the soil erosion precautions.
You've been on site, has anybody seen this?
I have not.
I have, you can't see this from the road at all.
Mhm.
You see the house, you can't see that. They did do a lot of soil control. And Mike and Francesca were both on site there, so. Yeah, they were given permission early on to do this, given a permit.
Mhm.
And then they were like, wait a second, it's in the wrong side, and then this happened, so.
Okay,
But they conform to everything so far.
okay.
Yeah, so lot coverage is not
No.
an issue.
No. They even did stuff in good faith, like they moved, I believe they moved one of the sheds over so that it wasn't on a water line. I believe was that it, Adrian? Did you move?
I think the shed was considered again in the front yard, so we moved it back, so
Right.
it's from the front just at the side.
They did make some good faith concessions.
I was looking at the landscaping and some of the grasses could be invasive. So you may want to talk with your landscapers. We really recommend native plants and shrubs wherever possible, and non-native grasses are a hard category because there's quite a few of them that are invasive.
Okay, I hadn't know, it's the first I'd heard of that, okay.
Yeah. No, that's what part of the reason we're here. We help try and educate people on some of this stuff, and
Right.
if you could incorporate more native plants and trees and shrubs into your landscaping. We really advise that because that's gives more support to our birds. and
Yeah, I understand.
Insects and stuff, and there's some very beautiful native plants, so.
Okay.
Your landscaper should be able to work with you to incorporate more of those.
Okay,
I see you have quite a slope there. Where I think it said there was like a gravel swale on one of the other,
gravel swale to, yeah, divert any water from that swale that comes down the hill.
Mhm.
so is it just going to stay gravel or?
It's got gravel and boulders in it,
Oh, it already does?
yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, anyone else?
Mhm.
We'd like to also suggest people have dark sky compliant lighting if you're putting in any lights out here, I don't know. I didn't notice, but on the plans, but we also advise Lake Smart lawn care. It's just some suggestions we make to people.
Okay,
We can help you with any of that. If you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us.
okay.
I guess that's about it. If nobody else has any comments,
No,
well, thank you, Adrian.
Thank
Okay, what is the procedure now?
We will write up our minutes. Those will go to the planning board. So they'll have any suggestions that come from us. And the only real suggestion would be to change up the landscaping some.
Okay, that was with native plants,
Yes,
Mhm, mhm.
okay. Does that mean that commission will be contingent on that, or is that just a suggestion?
we're an advisory
Okay,
board. So our suggestions will go to the planning board.
Okay.
And they'll take those under advisement. They could make it a condition or not.
okay,
So it's really up to the planning board. It all depends. So, I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
okay,
But thank you so much.
okay, well, thank you for your evening, good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Greg, I think you're up.
Okay.
We're pretty fast in here.
So my name is Greg Westbrook. I am a consultant to the German Brothers Marina Renewal. And so I think you guys all understand that it's an incentive zoning application.
Mhm.
And so from what I can tell from my conversations this week, that we already have had one public hearing on September 18th. And we left it open for October, and the next meeting, official meeting will be November 20th with the town board. We are sketch enabled only at this time. I can give you some background of some things, but I want to be very careful not to overpromise and underdeliver. So, but I can, I can outline, I have some material that was presented at the first meeting on September 18th. Or we can talk about the hill. And so we call this a renewal project. Because, so we're just talking about the stuff in the red box there. That's it.
Yeah.
Right there. And what's going on is that there's multiple, I'll just say, interest with multiple different parties from the town especially. And so we were asked to do some things in which we think we've complied to. But again, it's at a sketch level. So the concept is really quite simple. Remove all traffic or parking, boats and trailers off of Westlake Road. And we have to have a new place for them. The boats and trailers will be going to North Road, where we'll open up a new maintenance and service center. Okay,
Is
Well-
that in the location where the trailers were stored this summer?
that's correct. And the 12 acres on North Road. And I guess the 24 acres just next to us has been bought by Farnsworth, so I'm not sure what Randy's doing with it, but he's got some plans for that. And then, so then we construct, this road that will, it's a one switchback road. It's a dead end road. The road is 22 feet wide. Currently, we are counting 125 parking spaces. Our highest consumption of parking space on Westlake Road this summer was the Sunday of Labor Day. And we were hit 73 cars at that time. But we are adding things to this to make this even more productive and more usable by the community. Just trying to think. So we plan for 7 multi-bedroom lodges on the top of the hill. And then they'll circle back down into the parking area for the lower level. We have purchased the property to the south. It was 3935 Westlake Road or County Road 16. And that has been already, we're starting, we just got a short-term rental permit for that today. So we'll be starting that sometime in December or January to get that going. To the north, there's a similar situation. There's a 82 feet of frontage where the boat hoist with cover on it is shown up there in the little block up there. And that will become most likely the land and equipment we donate to the town. So we would give it an arrangement. That arrangement still needs more definition. One of the issues is there's different languages amongst different people. And so we're taking our time to get that right. I do envision that we are going to request, doesn't mean we'll get it, that this would be the final town board public hearing part on November 20th. The reason for that is because if there is a decision made to go forward, then everything is in the public domain. So anyone can come in and listen anytime they want to listen to whatever negotiating for. I'll give you an example. Maybe we want 105 slips or 102 slips, but we don't want that number. We want a bigger number. So those conversations will be made in public. We have already put together our lot line adjustment. You can go to that one. You can find it here.
Yeah.
Can you go to it?
Oh,
yeah.
all right. I think I brought that.
Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
It's not that one. Let's see.
It's the September 18th presentation.
No, that's. Oh, it's in the presentation.
It's in the, going to the project side.
That's it.
I see a 7,
Was that
7:18.
was that
It's a
the YouTube?
9:18.
Was that the YouTube video?
Hmm?
The
Yeah, it's
YouTube
one of the
video?
two
Yeah.
videos.
I watched one
You
of
just
them
go to
today. It was
projects.
quite good.
And you'll see, well, the second one down from the top on current projects. Left. There you go.
There we go.
Slide down there a little bit. And you'll see a blue Town of Canandaigua Town Board presentation, 9/18/23. The same thing is in there in the video that we put through so far, but I'll just scroll down a little bit from there. That's the context of what we're dealing with.
Mhm.
Current state is kind of, that's why we call it renewal. It's already been once sliced and diced, but there's safety access management. I talked about getting the cars, boats, and trailers off the road. So that's part of our program. And to add a, spend a second on this because it's really important.
Which,
Right
the
there,
next,
right
the
there.
next slide?
Right there. No,
Leave
you're
it
good.
there. Mhm.
Okay.
You see a blue trail there?
Yes.
That's a widened trail, probably 8 feet in width, that will run the full length of the property. Some for biking and some for walkers and runners and stroller pushers. All parking will be located for them on the west side of County Road 16. Go ahead. This talks about the public lake access. So we envision taking that boat hoist structure, which measures approximately 30 by 30, So it's 900 square feet. And that would be made into a picnic pavilion on the water for the community. We would be giving we give actually now 7 public boat slips for transient use. And we've added one more at the request of the Cheshire Volunteer Fire Department for the fireboat. That will go in. And the remaining slips of 150 awards means that we would have 142 that we could lease to people every year. Okay. Those colors are not critical anymore because it's all gonna be combined as one. We're not gonna have 2 class of citizens. It's a community asset, so we'll treat it that way.
Just stop you 1 second.
Yeah, those are a little bit lighter. Those are done, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before, when you were talking about public hearings, if you have any variances or any requests like that, that will be another public hearing.
That's correct.
Just so you, yeah,
Right. So the process becomes that we will someday close a public hearing, whether it's November 20th or some date further on out. And then the town board will collect all the information from this group, plus the planning board, plus the whole community's involved. And matter of fact, we spent 2 hours this morning with the Canandaigua Lake Watershed Association.
they're one of the people
One of
that.
the, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had a great conversation with them, explaining what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's not a cheap activity on behalf of Mr. Brew and the other private investor, but it's something that both gentlemen believe in. I want to make it clear, I'm not an investor. I'm a contracted specialist in this kind of activity. And but we're excited about it. What else do you need to know? Okay, on the front side, on the frontage there, the maintenance shed that's down there now, you go to the next one over there, left, one more, no, same slide, just go left a little bit. There you go. Goes up to the old maintenance shed. That's now gonna be proposed as a restaurant, a 3,800 square foot restaurant with outdoor balcony on the second level. To the right of that is the existing called ship store. We'll convert that into 3 different items. One is a ship store shrunk. 2 would be a coffee shop, and 3 would be a coffee shop ice cream parlor.
Mhm.
And you would then enjoy the walk north to the pavilion on the water. There will allow fishing. There's no swimming there. It's also tied to the Canandaigua Lake Water Trail. That is allowing people start the Canandaigua Water Trail normally from North Shore. They have to pedal for 6 miles to get to Onondaga. So we're the halfway point. So we're gonna feed them and give them drinks, not alcohol, but just drinks to keep them going. And then we're gonna have these rentals on top that will be bundled with the activities on the lake. So let's go to the lot line adjustment request.
So public restrooms for the well-hydrated paddlers.
That's correct. We have actually, we're building 3 restrooms. We're not sure whether they're gonna be on the lakeside or there's that parking lot there that was colored in red, I believe. So that house that's there now is gonna come down. But we wanna add 3 bathrooms to that. It's been a major draw for the bikers and the people that wanna get a break and sit down. We'll have facilities obviously in the ice cream and the coffee shop and also the restaurant. But we felt that was a need for the community beyond, so they can not have to spend money there, that kind of thing, right? So. And picnic table counts are not final, but there'll be plenty of picnic tables. We'll put a lot of trees in place. These will all be, new layouts for the trees and the shrubs and the grasses here. It's a challenging build site, but we think we have gotten a pretty good solution so far. Again, it's hard to judge how good the solution is at the sketch level. Just make sure you guys understand that part. The existing fuel tanks stay for pumping gas. We will continue to have a boat rental program, looking at a potential boat club program. Depends on economics at this point. If you can now slide to the towards the end a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, all right. Let's just spend a second on these 3. Can you go to the first chart there? Perfect. This is just arbitrary measurement. You have to measure something, so 62 slips at Canandaigua Boat Works with 100 feet of frontage, 62 per 100 feet. Go through Sutter's, Sager's, Smith Boys down at the south end of the lake. German Brothers is at 150 slip request, you'll see in the next couple drawings. With 764 feet of frontage that has been acquired over the last year to add to the existing 596 feet that German Brothers had when the parcel was originally purchased. So that gets us down to 19 slips per, it's a piece of information. And what do you want to do with that? That's you guys can influence it and talk about it and figure it out better than I can, I bet you. So next slide, please. Boats in the lake are always a question. We had a good discussion with the folks at Canandaigua Lake Watershed Association this morning on this. We have a count currently of, I have these numbers memorized, so I apologize. So there are 70 boats that sit up on the hill to make the hill look ugly. And that's the called dry docks. We believe when we put in 150 slips, 40 of those 70 will go right in the water. And the 30 that are remaining will be removed off-site to the backside of North Road, or call it North Road or County Road 30, whatever you want to do, behind the maintenance and service building there. Go into the moorings. Moorings are always interesting. Today we have 35 approved by the state of New York. We have proposed 24, but to be clear, we'll probably be a number below that, but we'll be above 10 for moorings probably. And then the total, and our argument, not our position is, go to the next slide. So it says net new boats at GBM 54. So here's the story of those 54 boats. There's not a new boat in them. Okay. They are all on the lake already. They're either there as a dry dock, they're either there as in the moorings, but we don't think we think this is an improvement on the overall operation of the lake, taken from a holistic view. There's a terrible measurable congestion problem in the North Shore, whether it's a holiday weekend or not, it gets jammed up by 11 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be that relief point. We think there's value in that for us to provide others. You know, people, they have both Sutters and Sagers has their boat clubs. Problems that people can't find a place to park to get over to the boat, to, you know, and it's just kind of, it's heavily engaged with. So, in the running across from the Wegmans parking lot where some people go to park their car and trailer, it becomes an issue because you're crossing without crosswalks. There's a bunch of things in that area. So we think we can do a better job of it, helping the community as a total lake group. So we are proud of that adjustment, but we feel very comfortably that we're not adding, we may add one or two, but it's not 150 more boats on the lake. They're already there. They already get in the water. You know, and our 7 free transient docks, slips, are there for people that want to come in and they don't have to buy anything, but they want to like take a rest from the water. They want to walk on land for a while, whatever they want to do. We're making it available to the community. And I don't think there's any other free occupancy of a multi-$1,000 slips of this scale on the lake anywhere. Okay.
So it's not another public boat launch, but you anticipate that the people currently using the public boat launch are going to take advantage of.
That's correct, right? And also the people that are coming off the public launch in the north end, you know,
Right.
they come down there, most of them come down there, get their gas there. So it'll be a natural attraction for that. This then talks to this here. It didn't come out properly, but if you look where the new restaurant's gonna be, there'll be, and there's a double, see those double red lines in the center, right there? The next one, the other way, by the way, there are 2 brother and sister, right? So boom, boom, just go, they're 45 feet apart. And that's where the boats will enter. They'll go to the gas docks and come back out, same point. We did get a lot of conversation around helping the neighbors. One of their concerns is the number of boats that come in close to shore and accelerating when they come in, accelerating when they go out. So we've solved that this morning with the Canandaigua Watershed Association. They feel very comfortable that we're going to put proper, what do you call it? Things you put in the water,
Buoys?
Buoys. And the buoys will give instructions for no wake zones, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to spread them as far as the neighbors want to spread them. Directly to our south is 447 feet of lake frontage that's owned by RSM. It's been owned by them for over, I don't know to cite the number, but maybe 10 or 12 or 15 years. And nobody still knows what the plan is. So, but we're here to tell you that this plan is a plan that we're working hard to make real. It's not cheap. You'll see, I'm not allowed to give those numbers out tonight, but they're, will be available as a result of the November 20th meeting. Those will be published at that time. And it's a incentive amenities number and an incentive number that we'll be sharing at that time. I do want to go to the next slide. It's
Sure.
really critical.
I was just gonna say to the members,
Yeah.
we can suggest amenities too for the town board to consider.
Right. Other ideas. We welcome that.
Other ideas, yeah.
That's just a present scope of the 7 rental units, 6 at 2,500 square feet and 1 at 3,700 square feet. The 3,700 square feet most likely will be a unit that has more of a lodge. By that I mean, anybody can kind of go there, a community building kind of thing. There'll be a charge for it, but it's accessible for the community. And it will have one of the better views over the lake from that height. We encourage you all, we invite you all to go drive down. And if you can get there before the snow starts flying again, but go up that center line hill and get all the way up to the top and keep going south. Get out of your car and walk around for 5 minutes. You'll see some pretty amazing views and so. Okay, next one. There it is. That's what I've been waiting for. So, we were very fortunate. We bought a property to the south and we bought a property to the north to attach to the 596 feet for the marina. Now, we have applied for and we will ask for a decision on very shortly after we get the public hearing closed to let us know that we can have 3 facility areas. That's what's called for under the Uniform Dock and Mooring Law. So we want to meet that. We meet it. We believe, our attorneys believe we meet it. I didn't bring my attorneys here with me because I don't want to pay them right now. Okay, but we're pretty bullish on that, I'll say.
We're more informal than that.
Yeah.
And so the bottom line is that the left-hand parcel of 1 that does a jog once it crosses Westlake Road, comes down, that will be a distance of 252 feet from edge of the south line. We call it the 3935 Moore property. No more. It's our property now. And then the center one will be 264 feet of frontage. And the reason we did that was because we wanted to have room for, make sure that the turnarounds and the gas activity ties in properly for something of this magnitude. And then the furthest one north, lot 3, will be the same as lot 1. It'll be 252 feet. And we can fit 50. We're allowed by the UMDL to apply for 50 dock slips, and we're allowed to apply for 15 moorings. So we could have 150 slips and 45 moorings. Because again, we're not going to use 45 moorings. There's other little secrets on there, how deep the water gets so quickly, so we're not going to push ourselves that way at all. So there's just an interesting, so this is the one challenge that we will be offering to the board, town board, because ultimately they get to make that call. And if we believe we have provided the best thing we can come up with, doesn't mean we won't listen to others' ideas and comprehend, taking all that information. But we're very excited to get with this. It's probably a 6 or 7 or maybe even an 8-year cycle to do all that work, to take things down, to rebuild, to additions, to put new builds up, to go build an offsite, which is not part of the incentive zoning. It's an industrial zoning already. So we're just excited to get going. And so I can now take any questions you might have. Please, it's time for questions.
So how
No, there's no bad ideas, right? We can't, because we're brainstorming, right?
So how many phases within that 8 years?
I had it originally at 3, okay, but now I got 3 AB, 1 AB, 2 B, AB, 3 ABC. And it's sequencing of the work, because remember, the best time to build and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Davidson Landing has a no build built in every deed on that road.
Oh.
And they are prevented from working between May 15th and Labor Day,
Yeah,
right? So we did the same thing to ourselves.
yeah,
You know,
Okay.
because we don't want to disturb our existing customers, right?
right.
So the sequence is, first thing goes in is the docks. Right? 150 slips. Second thing that goes in is the construction off-site on North Road, okay, crossing the new Y. Third thing is to use the existing stuff that's there with the crazy one going up. But that parking lot, including the gravel and the existing pavement, can accommodate around 130 cars, okay? So that's gonna buy us a little bit of time to then start to convert the lakeside again with the restaurant, the ice cream parlor, the coffee shop. We're gonna do something on the parcel to the south there. That's currently a 3-bedroom. That's what we have the permit for at this time, but we probably will move that to a 5-bedroom. We may choose to put a couple of bedrooms up on the garage across from that house. And it's a very large garage. Each floor is 789 square feet. So you got a lot of square footage there. That's gonna take a couple of years to, because you only got, you got the winter time to build, right? So the case of the docks, they like it. They like to build in the winter, but they can't start anything until we get the permission. And then we gotta go find we have a dock supplier, but they gotta go manufacture the product somewhere, not even in New York State. But here's a promise I can make, I think. We're less than 10 years.
Listen to- I want to be around to see it.
I darn right hope so.
Are you planning for the restaurant and the?
Yeah,
lodges
we're,
and-
we just have really nice pictures of it.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you're planning for it to be year round or
Yeah,
seasonal.
year round,
Okay,
okay.
the accommodations as well?
Year round, we are working closely with other people that need facilities. Give you an example. Dan Fuller and I have been business partners in the past, or approached business partners as an opportunity. And that is one area that they want to necessarily build more stuff on their hill without the facilities there. So if we build 5-bedroom or 6-bedroom lodges, that may be attraction for a ski team, as an example. That's just one example. There's a lot of ice hockey going on in town, right?
Mhm.
And, and we think we've got this position pretty good, but you never know until you try, right? Because paper's easy to write it on. But I believe personally that it's positioned, as a mid-level activity. The other principle I've been trying to talk to people about have been that with the new assessments, with the values of the lake going up beyond belief, they are, the 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds are never gonna make it to the lake unless they get it from their parents. That's the truth, right? And so we believe this gives, and I'm gonna take you one other place. This is a very interesting one. So in the 2021 update of the comprehensive plan, there's a question number 12, and it says, top 8 items that would make Canandaigua better, town of Canandaigua better. And we are very proud that we hit all 8. The first one is, and I've had some multiplication in my head on this one, but isn't written down yet, but so 46.1% of 10,500 people that could have voted, but it never voted, kids wouldn't vote and that kind of stuff. But my point is the same. There's over 4,500 people that will be able to be served and get access to the lake, or let's just use the current cost structure of a boat club. It's $3,000 a year, right? A year. It's not a crazy number, right? It's in range, right? And you take that $3,000 and you double it up with somebody, or you get a lodge that's got 6 bedrooms and you each get 3 bedrooms apiece. It's not going to be a crazy number. So we're just excited about having people enjoy the lake. That's where we put it. Doesn't mean that we're going to be trying to not meet every requirement that we're asked to meet, but eventually it comes down to finances, right? So we're lucky to be this far along with the sketch. That's our view.
Definitely.
I want to make a comment about Peter Brew, great guy, determined, convinced that he's very excited about this. And I think we're gonna deliver a really nice product. Please criticize, please question, I'm not bad, you can't hurt me, I'm too old.
You have a question?
I spent some time over
Did you
the
see the
last
videos?
few days.
Yeah.
I did,
Yeah,
I did,
great,
of
great.
the town board meeting and the plans are very impressive, I'll be honest. Things I liked, as a paddler, as a biker along West Side,
But I want to jump on that one just for a second.
Yeah.
That blue line there. Our goal is to move that blue line as far north as we can on the east side, of the County Road 16, that 8-foot wide bicycle lane, okay? And we'd like to get it painted special colors like they do in Geneva and other places. We really have got to start to open up this road to the community, and it's not currently, it's
and that's-
dangerous.
That's what you call the active shoulder.
Right.
And I really do appreciate that. I know people who have been hit by cars on their
Right,
bikes
right.
in that location. It is a pinch.
Right.
And I actually avoid it now.
Right.
So, thank you for incorporating that. The kayak launch, I've not been aware of the Canandaigua Water Trail, but for years, paddlers have wanted to point
Right.
from Woodville.
Right.
To the top of the lake, and I think for the town, that's a very marketable kind of destination. To create, really make this a paddler destination. So that's appreciated. The public restrooms, of course, anyone but kids appreciates that. The rainwater runoff plan, I'd like to find out much more about that.
Yeah, so stormwater. It's a question,
Yeah,
right?
and that could be another time.
Yeah, we can give you some preliminary, I can give you some preliminary. We have a sizable 6-figure budget for it, first thing, okay? Second thing is that, it will include both, underground. And I don't think Wegmans has it here, but someplace at Wegmans parking lot, they have underground collection tanks.
Right.
And so we are looking at those. We're also looking at with a combination of rain gardens themselves as it comes off the roofs of especially of the structures, the houses, the lodges. So we feel that we understand the economic impact it will place on German Brothers. Okay, but we think it's a reasonable. We have a little, I don't want to say we had a little more room or no more room, I don't know that yet, but we are taking it very seriously. The Canandaigua Lake Watershed Association today was very articulate of the importance of, making sure that what we do, and this, to be honest with you, today, it's kind of a hodgepodge site. We got another issue, and that is on the top of, above that red line that runs along the top, is this RSM subdivision.
Right.
And they have not done anything for whatever number of years. I don't put a year on it because I don't want to be wrong. But whatever number of years that has been, it's been a number of years. And, we remain concerned about it from our perspective of how do we handle that water if whatever they choose to do, they don't do or whatever, right? So that's an issue that makes us a little bit of angst
Okay.
trying to sleep on it, but it doesn't help. So,
That property is accessed off of County Road 16.
yeah, it's
the
right off, the garage is there on the left-hand side, the lot 1. There's a driveway that comes right up there from there.
But even given that unknown, I think it's both an ecological and a marketing opportunity.
Absolutely.
To do some investing
Right.
in
Sustainability positioning,
Eco-friendly.
yeah.
and people friendly, because I totally agree with the lake access, the need, the demand of the community for safe lake access. But if you can marry together the recreational piece, the marketing of that, but also the marketing of a genuinely eco-friendly approach.
Right.
I think the town would be very, very appreciative and pretty excited about it.
I was thinking along the same lines for possible amenity, because as you heard, we suggest native plants.
Right.
And there's a lot of education that we have to do. And I was thinking that if you put in a lot of, basically use native plants, trees and
Right.
shrubs all in your landscaping, do your rain gardens, and maybe have educational signage
Right.
for people.
The Canada Watershed Association agreed this morning that they
Yeah.
would put a full signage mechanism
Yeah.
on that far north picnic pavilion
Mhm.
on the water. When you're on the water, something else happens to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something special, it really is.
it
Along the
is.
lines of this eco-friendly solar panels on your.
Yeah, the
lodges.
trouble is, the land is so tight,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna,
But you were talking on the roofs?
Yeah, roof mounted solar.
possibly.
In the cottages, the elegant cottages, that would be a nice touch.
Yeah, the issue becomes, the cost of the cottages.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and so, this is public information, I think it will, I put in the first 10-acre solar farm on County Road 10 and County Road
Oh,
46. And it was a very good investment on my part. Okay. But as things change and requests change and the government changes different funding levels, it's hard to chase. I'm not saying we were gonna do it. Maybe we do it on the very top of the parking area as an example. The other one is geothermal. Okay.
yeah.
Is that something?
That's more applicable for us here, we think, okay?
Okay.
But I think one of those two or one of those three, with how many other ideas we come up with,
Yeah.
need to be applied to this, because we want to market it. I'll give you an example. Peter Brew has been talking to the DEC, he's been talking to them for over a year now. And since it's a fishing place, we thought we'd offer some corner for fish hatcheries, or we can put them underneath docks now, fish hatcheries. Yeah, we kind of neat stuff to, more than just a place to go swim in and come in and having an ice cream cone, right? We wanted to make it an impact for the community. They can have Canandaigua identified as a real leader in that activity.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. It'd be nice if, and again, there was a town board vote on what to do with the strip of land along the lake to the south, that I know that that's currently RSM property.
Right.
But the idea anyway, the plan was, and I think, the DEC was negotiated with, offered some help, some matching funds for a
For the-
fishing dock.
right,
Mhm.
right.
Which, and maybe that's something you can pursue, because
Yeah, so-
there's not many places to shore fish around the lake.
So we agree.
That's, the other thing, I think
I got another, that wouldn't work, but
nope,
I was
that,
gonna suggest that on the Moore property, that last little boat hoist over the water,
Mhm.
that will not be there when we're done because of the setbacks that are currently required.
Mhm.
So we've determined it won't hold the boats, but it can hold fishing people.
oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
true,
Same thing on the other one at the other end. Okay,
which is blocked by our little dialogue box.
so fly, throw this thing around or what?
A little display, cold water fish of
Right.
the deeper Finger Lakes.
Right.
I really like the education piece. I mean, people that, let's say, come for wedding receptions at that larger lodge.
Right.
If they're coming from out of town, they can learn about
Right.
this area.
Right.
And the lake. and
It's a
the
chance to,
shed.
it's a chance to really make Canandaigua, the town, shine, okay?
Yeah.
But also the communities to feel good about where they live, people that are here.
And some of the things like, the rain gardens and the native plants, that all helps the lake and just the overall habitat and stuff too.
We already have our landscape architect.
Okay,
We think that's an important part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To the far right again, there's a trail plan, but that might be a trail to nowhere.
Mhm.
So we wouldn't build it, but maybe we divide it up differently and have levels of picnic areas. I don't know. So we're still open on those conversations.
So Greg, the restroom areas
Yeah.
on the lake. How is that handled for like holding tank, or, I mean, how do you
No, it gets
handle,
pumped out.
where does it,
You're at sewer.
there's sewer there? Okay, good to know.
We're looking at
wasn't
some
sure if
kind of
there
head pump
was. Okay.
for the boats. It's not a big demand, but
Mhm.
we haven't figured that one out yet.
Yes, well, that's good, because, yeah. I've known people who have put disposable diapers off. It's not,
Not pleasant.
not pleasant,
No.
no, it's not what you want it to be. Parking, no.
And the storage of boats on North Road, the CR 30 is a big plus.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's also an advantage to the traffic on Westlake Road.
Yeah.
Cause we will not be pulling those boats down,
Oh, right,
what will
right.
be in the water, right?
Yeah.
The 30 of them, as I said before, I think I said that. The biggest demand was, we had 18 boats in on the Sunday of Labor Day this week, this Labor Day, past Labor Day weekend, and. So that's, 20%, 22, whatever, how you want to round up or down. And with 30 that would still be there, we may have other choices of how we put them in or out. At the North Shore, is ideas, right? So we just gotta work that one through, but there's a continuation to try to. Offload some, but be smart about what you offload, don't make a problem for us, right? The town, not the Turner Brothers.
Mhm.
Will the town continue to critique this project as each phase is developed, or?
So in some zoning, let me pick up on that one, it's a great question. So, first step was this.
Yeah.
Second step is to get that approved. Okay. Third step, that there will be probably people on both sides challenging it through legal activities, okay? I can't speak for the side that's potentially against anything, but we feel very strongly that I wouldn't be here today talking about it if I didn't have a high level of confidence, not 100%, you don't know. It's a political game too, don't kid yourselves, right?
Right, don't-
And so that's what scares us the most right now. That stability there, or lack of stability there. So there's so the next phase would be request a zoning law determination. And once we request that, they'll report out to the town board will tell us what it is. And we are comfortable going into this position, and hopefully we'll be comfortable when we come out. So it's a lot line adjustment, boom, approved. UMDL takes over now for the votes number. Some people are walking around with a different number than our 150. I can say publicly that no 150, meh, we're probably not gonna go, right? So we think we have the right to it. It's not it's not an aggressive statement, it's a belief that we have. And our attorneys say that, yeah, let's go see where it goes.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is authorization to build under the docking and
UMDL,
mooring law.
Uniform Mooring Dock Law, right.
Okay. Had to do a little Googling. We just learned about that one.
That's it's a very good document. When I was working for the town as a town board and then deputy supervisor and a supervisor, that's been a very effective document. Okay, we are continuing to engage with those parties, make sure that we understand it, and I'll just leave it there for now. But the good news is, if there are things that are a problem, that we are already in the application.
Okay.
You can't deny an application because you changed the law after the applicant applied.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right.
And then you would probably have, variances or
Yeah, for sure,
Multi-
yeah. So that-
multi-stage
so let me-
site
let me- I didn't
plans.
finish answering your question,
Yep.
okay? So after that conversation around lot line adjustment, then we go into the UMDL. And then incentive zoning means that they write specific zoning for this application. Example, today it's a non-conforming
Use, I've heard.
the non-conforming use and pre-existing non-conforming use.
Yeah.
And so, we can't do anything today, Peter was kind of upset originally when I started talking for the first time that, it is what it is. Well, yeah, it is what it is, until you start showing incentives to the community and the town board to make that feel better for them. But I wouldn't do it any other way at this point, I would. So then what happens after the UMDL is sorted through? then the town board needs to make a decision and say, yes, we want to go forward. And then they rewrite a specific incentive zoning for that area.
That's it, yeah.
And that's where the variances come in, the requests for whatever they look like, give you an example. 3 lodges on one parcel, they'll need a variance, I'm sure, right, some way, somehow, so.
Probably coverage.
Right, covers, lack coverage and those kind of things, right?
And then you
Lot
would
two.
have your site plan approval, probably multi-stage after that
Right.
point.
The vision is that we don't do anything next year still,
Yeah,
other than talk.
Right.
But we don't want it. There's been a significant investment made already,
Mhm.
so we want to be told no fast.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We hope it's not no, but if it is, and we don't think it's. We think it's reasonable, then we won't continue, but we don't think it will be that way, but time will tell. Okay. I also want to thank you for working on the ECB. Keep going. It is important stuff. It really is. It really is. And so.
Thanks.
thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
I have to go turn an apple cider machine the next hour.
So, I'm gonna send a memo to the town board and I'll upload it to file permit as well. Did you wanna think about any ideas? Sorry, that you have for like incentives? Cause you can request things. I'd actually request that they minimize lawn as much as possible and put in native plants, shrubs, the whole 9 yards, and really make it an education showpiece, because we fight this battle with everything that we review on the lakeside, and I think it would be great to have a place where people can really see how beautiful it is and see it working.
Yeah, ground cover instead of grass.
Ground cover,
Would be a tremendous
Yeah.
help. So they're not mowing, not fertilizing, not,
yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Many pollinating plants as possible.
Right,
They could.
that is a lot of impervious surface on a very steep slope,
Right.
And while
yeah,
a permeable pavement or pavers
yeah.
it would still count against their coverage. They could make that part of their plan as well.
Incentive, yes.
And it's something that we could ask for.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, it's a lot of, roof coverage, a lot of, in a small space, and, of course, directly.
they could do some
Next to
green
the lake and
roofs
all
and
that.
stuff
Yeah,
too.
but really, some things would help, like,
Yeah.
like not mowing lawn.
Mhm.
And that would actually be a benefit to them also, say.
It would be,
you know,
I think all those
They're-
plants and trees would make this a place people would wanna come to
Yeah, I
and-
would think so.
and walk around, and
Mhm.
plus it would really kind of serve our education needs as well.
And a lot of younger people, Gen Z and above, 20s, 30s, 40s. My sense of it is they don't like the aesthetics of the over manicured golf course look. That's their
Yeah.
grandfather's idea
Yes,
of
exactly.
Yeah.
of a destination. They want to these are people with their hiking boots in the back of their car.
Yeah.
And they want to at least feel like this is
Yeah, if they're out in the
environmentally.
nature, if they're next to the lake.
Yeah, even if they're walking around for 15 minutes, that it's still, they'll learn something and appreciate what was here.
Mhm. The YouTube video presentation, the whole presentation to the town board by the owner is really worth watching. I had it on today and was trying to pay as best attention as I could, and the town board members were asking, well, what about water, stormwater, and what about this, and what about that? There were a lot of good questions that we talk about here. And I think the property owner did a really good job of presenting the project. you know, all the ideas, and it's well worth the watch.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you wrap your brain around it a little bit better.
And
Yes,
criticism, sorry,
right,
they're good.
yeah. Absolutely, because you can hear what the town board members are asking of the owner
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
Sounds like
It was very good,
they're
very
paying
good to
attention.
watch.
They're adjusting their plans accordingly.
Yeah.
I know the one property owner, the Fosters to the south, were concerned about the boat traffic.
Oh,
and
sure.
they
Well, when
addressed
it's
that.
right next door to you, of course you have concerns, right?
Yeah, I had listened to that as well,
Mhm.
and yeah, I agree with them. I'm like, if you're down at Ononda, those boats go zooming by and, you know, it's the
Yeah.
wake. So if they can do something to minimize
Yeah,
that,
they're
I think the
kayak.
neighbors would really love it. Kayaks.
I give my special wave to them.
There you go.
Which way?
How many fingers in
One
that
finger,
way?
so they're-
No, that's funny.
Yeah, but if there's no wake zones and buoys, it could
Yeah.
actually slow the
Yeah.
boat traffic down,
Yeah.
or at least encourage them to go mid-lake, go around it
Yeah,
all.
if it's enforced, yeah.
And I think it would definitely bump up the appeal to this area if you don't have boats going right by. So
Yeah.
the people at the restaurant or walking around or wherever, I think would like this area a lot better too.
Yeah. And I'm sure they, from a business standpoint, would like the same thing.
Yeah.
If they have a restaurant,
Right,
like a ice cream place, and most boat launches, most boating outfits do have a no way policy. At least until one gets out, 50, 100, 200 yards from the dock.
Mhm.
It's a safety issue.
So the only other thing I had thought of for an incentive that we hadn't talked about was maybe they could make a donation to the open space fund for purchase of some, probably not lakefront property, but maybe property along one of the streams that feed towards the lake. So, just things to try and help overall lake health is what I kind of focused on with this. There was, Mark Tolberg had somebody speak at one of the planning boards. They've got a way to do lake monitoring real time, like water quality. So something like that could also be something that
Oh, yeah.
maybe they fund and, you know.
Interesting, yeah.
Now, if they have, obviously facilities for pulling the boats out of the water, they ought to have a boat cleaning
Right.
station there where they're pulling water leads off and, and.
Or empty the
Be-
water
yeah,
into so it
right,
doesn't have
yes,
the.
right, and,
Yeah.
if they are putting boats in, they need to have a way to inspect and make sure that they're not carrying invasive species in the middle.
Yep.
That's how we got to,
Zebra mussels.
zebra mussels, that's how we got the invasive crayfish, that's how we got,
Yeah, so Woodville and the public boat launch have somebody
they
there,
do have, yeah.
but for these private
for the private
marinas,
ones, you
they,
don't.
yeah,
But
interesting.
it would be an
Good
incentive
suggestion.
there,
Yeah.
it would
Absolutely.
be, yeah.
That's a great idea.
That's a
yeah.
great
Yeah.
idea.
As an amenity or,
Mhm.
incentive.
So is there any other ideas people would like the town board to consider?
I'd like them to consider the boat inspection.
Yep,
Sure.
I'll definitely put that in.
Great idea.
I'll put the other things that we talked about as well. Anything else? I get the feeling that this is gonna go through, so I focused more on what incentives we would be interested in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the economic standpoint,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
people
I'm
are
sure.
seeing,
Yeah.
tax
Yeah,
revenue.
yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe preserve any mature individual trees that might be up the slope a bit, incorporate them into the landscaping rather than take them out.
Can we look at the Encore? 'Cause I think it's pretty generally kind of open.
And Mike,
Up
whenever
there.
you need to go,
Oh,
because I know you have a stop.
So there's no inkling of what RSM is
no one
Maybe
knows
Nobody
anything.
knows.
Okay.
No.
That's.
There was a hiccup with the building on their property that was historic,
Yeah.
and so they were dealing with that. So that just stopped it for a while.
Okay. Be nice
But
to,
it's gone.
be nice to purchase, and try to purchase again that strip of land just south of the marina and. Or, or have that remain open space, conserve
Yeah, if
Lake
they would-
Shore.
Yeah, who's present on the other side of the road too.
If that-
So
that
it's
was
pretty
open,
open
sure,
there,
that'd be
so it's a lot of
nice
pavement
ride on
as it
that.
is up there.
Yeah,
I was just looking for significant trees, but it looks like,
there's,
there's a lot of. It's pavement, I haven't been up there, good reason to go up and take a
Yeah.
walk. Let's go, Edith,
Well, okay.
I
Gotta
think
go to
that-
Philadelphia this weekend.
When you get home.
That will go.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
we'll take
We
my
got a
little
four-wheel-
Bronco and we'll drive up there,
Okay. I have a 4-wheel drive pickup.
right, there we go, yours or mine.
I didn't check the soil type
Well.
of
it's-
that location,
Hmm,
but that would play into the decision about drainage, how much
like,
drainage.
like clay, like that kind of thing, yeah,
The slope is
It's all
pretty severe.
Still,
Yeah.
I don't know with the soil,
Yeah.
exact soil type, how well it drains.
yeah,
but definitely if they've got like water coming down from above, whatever they can do to put. Plants and shrubs
true,
and
yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
in there
Keep the
to,
ground cover on it,
Mhm.
yeah.
to soak it up, that would definitely help.
Even
That's a
irrigation
good suggestion.
programs Or a way to channel the water
Mhm.
down.
Right.
I'm sure Kevin Mulvaney is,
Oh, yeah.
that, but
Well. That's why ground cover instead of grass would be a great thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Interrupt that.
I think it would work well into like their business, because I mean, all of those are some,
Yeah.
things they
think it
can
would
sell
too.
on.
Mhm.
And I mean, how cool would it be to have, like green roofs and stuff like that? It would just enhance that being in nature. So I think that's what they're really selling with all of the lake views and stuff like that.
If they do the geothermal, we'll give them a pass on the roof mounted solar.
There you go. There you go,
Oh, that would be great. So,
your eyes just lit up when they said
I
geothermal,
noticed that.
I know that
It
made you
is.
very
It
happy,
is an excellent thing on Super Bowl.
Yes.
It's really.
Yes.
Yeah.
one of the applications we reviewed a couple months back, the Black Point Whitbacks.
oh, yeah, we're back. Mhm.
They're putting in geothermal,
Mhm.
so
Using the lake as the source or.
I'm not sure, but I basically said, no, we don't need to review that one. We're suggesting geothermal to people.
That's great.
Mhm.
So I thought I would mention that.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a couple of other things, so I will write up the memo. Do people wanna review it before I send it along, or?
do we just send the ideas if any percolate?
If we think of anything, we
Additional
put it
ones,
the
yeah.
next day or two.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but,
definitely. We've
Uh,
got time. I think the planning board is talking about this on their next meeting, though. I can't remember.
No, he said in November, town board, they're gonna become
Yeah,
going in front of town board again.
so I think the planning board is the 12th, I think the ZBA is 17th, so
Mhm.
we're the earliest of the boards to,
Mhm.
so we've got some time. So if you give me your ideas, maybe by next week, I'll write that up and we can send that along. It was nice to have him come.
Absolutely.
I didn't know he was going to attend. I had definitely shared our agenda to their,
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people are coming, because I'll
Mhm.
share the agendas to their workspace, and
That's good.
yeah, it's great. I mean, the one lady, she didn't know she was gonna speak, but I'm like, just tell us about what you're doing, and it's gonna take me a few minutes to like bring all this stuff up anyways.
Yeah.
So. See, let me get back to our agendas.
Yeah, what were we talking about anyway?
Okay, so we have New Michigan Road,
Mhm,
it's a subdivision.
mhm.
Mike, do you know about this one?
It's, Dave Emery from the zoning board.
Mhm.
Yeah, he just wants to parcel off some of his land. But it's, he needs a variance for it, but it's going against, I believe it's.
Length and width of the,
Yeah,
it's the 2 times
yeah. 2.5 times,
the.
it's a flag lot. But the way it's located. Yeah.
Can we look at it?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
Section right there.
So
Yeah.
this is the one that you want to subdivide.
Yeah.
And I noticed it was, the tree line is back here,
Mhm.
so it's out of the tree line.
it's out in the field.
I think they're looking at putting a house there eventually.
Their daughter is wanting to build there,
mhm.
the Emery's daughter.
So it's ag land now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it looked like it, yeah.
Mhm.
I noticed on this.
They're the goat farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or goats.
Yes,
Goat farm.
Goats.
yes, the goats, I like the
Yeah.
goats.
I do
You
too.
could go turn it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about renting a few goats, to tell you the truth, clear the poison ivy out of my woods. But you would have to tether them, because it's not fenced.
Right.
My goats would eat Rosa Sharon, or not Rosa Sharon, Multiflora Rose. Rosa Sharon, totally.
Yeah.
So they're, yeah,
Oh,
phenomenal.
I've got plenty of that also, that would be great.
Renting.
I'm still thinking
Rent-
about.
There are places that do it.
They do it for like around solar panels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we talked about that one time.
Yeah, do you rent out your goats?
The goats went, they crossed the lake, went on her farm. Apparently had this delusional thought I was gonna continue milking them when she wasn't around. And I had a goat milker.
Yes. We've got to love an optimist, yeah.
I didn't really have much in the way of complaints about this, or comments.
No.
I think when they want to build a house, I'd have comments, but
When the site plan comes in,
exactly.
but this is just subdivision.
This is just subdivision and
Looked pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I did notice on the Secor paperwork, the lot is contiguous to either historical or archaeological site.
What was that about?
Yeah, I was wondering what is in that area
I
that,
don't know if they've done their.
I don't know if we did a SHPO or not. I could look into that. I mean, if you guys want a SHPO, we can do
That
that.
would probably be a planning board question,
But
but you
I
might,
could say that.
but you might want to do it before.
Maybe there may be one in play. I just,
I know it does take some time sometimes.
there might be one in the works. That's been showing up on everything these days, that
that's
something
start digging
is.
and, find native or indigenous remains, but that puts a big.
It's a kibosh on your project, right?
It puts on the brakes, yes.
We'll look into that.
I don't know if
I
we
have
have
no comment on that, as a matter of fact.
Nah, I think like a lot of these ag fields, you're gonna have that variance. You chop a piece out of them, so. The 2 times depth width thing. So. I don't know.
I don't know why we see that, like our group
Yeah, really.
sees that when it seems like it's a planning board or a zoning
Yeah,
board
I
thing.
know,
I mean,
it's-
unless it's a sensitive environmental area or something,
I think they kicked it our way because it's agriculture.
maybe,
We
maybe.
usually get kicked the ag stuff,
Hmm,
as well as the ag committee.
hmm,
So I think that's why it came our way.
okay.
Well, it is pretty decent ag land,
Yeah.
you gave over too much of it. It's sad.
Yep, I'm a have at. I don't have any comments.
No comments, me neither.
There is that.
Yes.
I never see them really work that out there.
Mostly it's, well, sometimes it's worked and not often, you know, sometimes it's paid.
Oh, that particular
That
property?
particular
Mhm.
parcel, yeah.
They might still, I
Yeah.
mean, putting a
It's
house in the front's not gonna change
not gonna
anything in the
change a whole
back.
bunch, no.
Mhm.
Let's see, this one is
Back to variance.
Hopes.
Mhm.
They are doing a tear down rebuild. They have variance. I think this is the one, when I was looking at the site plan, they're cutting down mature trees.
Right.
And they're in the
Mhm.
RLD, are they not?
Mhm.
So it means they're in the scenic view shed.
Um,
And so that will be a problem. I think it was 2 walnuts and a maple they were taking down. If I remember right.
And the neighbor was concerned about drainage.
Their house is a little higher than them. They're concerned, even though the house has been moved over. They're doing a nice job, I think, with the setback as opposed to what it is now, but
These are the trees. they're
that's the
taking
existing
out.
conditions, right?
Yeah, and so these 3 trees, and it says the maple is a 20-inch tree, and I can't remember what the walnuts are.
16 and 18.
So they're not trivial trees.
No, it's. They're old trees.
I would really suggest they rethink their plans in order to keep the trees. Because of drainage is an issue, and I did see the neighbor letter talking about drainage.
Mhm.
Taking out those trees is only gonna add to drainage problems. 'Cause trees suck up a lot,
Mhm.
and they help soften the views, which is part of the scenic view shed. Overlay, you're supposed to soften lake views, so. I
All right,
would-
folks.
Yep, have a great one, Mike.
You too. See you all tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna see all you guys.
Here,
So,
there's the proposed, there's a site plan too,
Yep.
again, that shows the new house. There we go.
they make really big documents and they like
Yeah.
jump around on me when I try and move. So they really put their house really close to the sides there.
Well, the existing house is really close to the
The,
southern neighbor there.
The photographs really point that out.
Yeah, they
It's a
do,
pretty tight
the,
squeeze.
looking at
Yeah.
Encore, it does. And then the neighbor to the north has that's a pretty significant house, a lot of driveway to it. The north property, if we looked on Encore,
Yeah.
to see that,
Sorry.
just to compare the size of the homes that are.
I'm gonna click this and then go to Encore and then do the show map. Cause we'll get to see with the tree cover.
Oh. I don't ever use that.
I do
Oh,
occasionally,
look, that's nice.
just
Look at
because
that.
they show you with the trees
Mhm.
and
Oh, all right, that's good.
so they're getting, so we can see these trees are alive over here.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And that's what they're getting rid of.
Yeah.
Let me go back here, let's get rid of the map. Map. See, Encore shows them all without leaves, it's kind of nice sometimes to go and just see what.
That's
the-
true, they
Yeah.
fly in when
Yeah.
the leaves are down,
Yeah,
so they can
Yeah.
probably see the houses
You see
better.
the contours, you know,
Yeah.
you see the land and how it lays much better.
oh, I totally agree, it's just nice to sometimes go and see what it looks
Well,
like.
you
the
like to
leaves.
see, yeah, see both of them.
Well, we like to see the trees in this group.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the one we have.
Yeah. They're not doing too much different to their driveway, are they like coming over the existing, the driveway, they're keeping it existing?
They're ripping up the asphalt.
The whole thing?
Did they have a landscaping plan with this project, other than cutting down the trees?
I think I looked, but I didn't find anything in this document. Usually March has been including it all
Yeah,
with the site plan, so I'm gonna say no. These were dry wells, but that was.
so that's that's maybe the drainage plan, or is that the site
That's
plan?
it. The dry wells would be
Site
taking
grading.
roof
to-
drainage.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The roof, the gutters, yeah.
Well. I'm opposed to their plan of taking down those trees.
Mhm.
I would ask them to rethink that.
Mhm.
Obviously, doing
Yeah.
any sort of landscaping, use your native plants, trees, shrubs. But
Well, just the size of those trees is mitigating rainfall impacts. It reduces the velocity and erosiveness of rainfall tremendously.
Mhm.
It just, the branches and the leaves even, break the velocity, and so you're getting much less.
Mhm.
And given the
Yeah.
uneven rainfall patterns we've been having. Between
Oh, yes,
dry and
yes, well,
downpour.
yeah,
The
yeah.
short trees, the
I know,
surfaces they
yeah.
present, they
Yeah,
provide more for it.
Yeah, right, and, if they replant something nursery size in another 3 generations, they'll be the size of these trees now. You know,
Definitely.
Yeah,
Is it more difficult to get an older tree to stay alive? Like if you're, like we're talking about the nursery sized trees, maybe versus something that's got a bigger caliber, when you want to plant a more significant tree.
it's
What is
harder.
the likelihood of that
Of a
survival
fail.
of a larger tree?
It all depends upon how well you prepare the soil and how far down it is to bedrock.
Mhm,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
If
'Cause they have a
The
huge
actual-
ball, right? They'll have a
Yes,
huge ball
and
on them.
you need to dig a hole twice the size of the root ball. How many people do that?
They don't.
They don't. And it needs to be, it needs to be done properly. The bowl of the tree needs to be at the same ground level as it was in the nursery.
That would be a wonderful article for the newsletter, how to properly plant.
Okay, well,
No,
I-
don't, it would
I'll
be,
do
because
that,
I
I'll
don't,
do that.
I don't
It's
know
just,
that answer.
It really needs to be in you.
And
You
watering.
need to know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you've got to be able to
Okay, so,
water it
yeah.
for a
Yeah.
couple of years. You
Yeah.
cannot just water it,
Dan Marion can help with that too.
yeah.
He's-
Because how many
Well, it's
times do
like
people
that-
like put in
that
pines
plan
and then
we
they don't
had
make
where
the
they were
new?
going to dig aeration things down to, after they covered it with 3 feet of soil.
Yeah,
And there are other options, the tree well, keeping it at the same level. If you cover the roots, they're dead.
Mhm.
That's one of the other things we need to tell people about plans like this, is to keep the bulldozers, keep the construction
Yeah.
vehicles off the
Yeah.
roots of the trees. You can't just protect the trunk. I will never forget going down through Naples when DOT was widening that street, and they had all of the trunks nicely wrapped in orange plastic.
Mhm.
And they went right through the roots and the trees
The
died.
trees all die. But they park all their heavy equipment
Yeah.
under the tree.
Yeah.
And impact the soil and then.
yeah.
And it's, you
They
have
just
to
don't
protect
realize.
out to the drip line.
On Pearl Street in the city, where they built the new firehouse.
Yeah.
There's a great big white pine.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
dead now.
Yes, they were taking those down this week.
Yeah,
Well, they damaged it.
they damaged
Oh,
it,
really?
yeah. Well, you can't run bulldozers over it. It makes the soil just like cement, and there is no infiltration.
Mm.
Too.
Oh, yep.
Yes,
Thank you,
and
Gary.
I'm on the hobby
Or
horse, sorry.
dwindling, no, that's, That would be a
Thank you, Karen.
wonderful, that'd be a wonderful article, you know, truly.
I'll do an article on geothermal.
Yes, please do. We're,
Denise?
we're lining up the next few articles. Are we locked in?
Locked in.
Hey,
go.
use your muscles.
You were scaring me there for a minute. So, yeah.
You right, Aaron.
Kim is doing it now.
Oh.
Isn't that wonderful? He's just,
Did the one that I sent to, I probably didn't rebound to you, did it? Because I sent it to the old person.
Sarah.
Sarah,
Sarah, yes.
that-
Did
that-
she? Yeah,
she
okay.
forwarded along to
Oh,
me.
good.
It's for the tree team.
Oh,
Yes, the
good.
tree team, yeah, I said, actually, I've got some pictures of that. if
Oh,
you wish.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
okay, I will forward those to you.
Those always help.
Yes, well, it's, it's somebody else holding the tape around all of this enormous oak tree.
Very nice.
I discovered that DBH means 4.5 feet off the ground, which is here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to take a tall sidekick with you.
It was
Okay,
embarrassing.
cool.
Do you have any other suggestions? I don't know what other people think about the trees they're cutting down, but
No, well, it's worth mentioning the importance
Mention
of
the
them.
importance of the trees and recommend they be saved and that the construction people, equipment be restricted from the roadside.
Yeah. okay. I will also.
That won't happen.
That won't
Well, at
happen.
least it's being said,
Yes.
and the planning board will see that.
I will
So,
suggest
that's good.
our normal things about landscaping and that stuff. Actually. Chuck is really diligent with the scenic fuchsia. So I think that will be an issue because of the scenic fuchsia. I think they've got no landscaping plan here, and so they're not really showing anything. This is the lake over here, is there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's like nothing softening their.
did
their
they
view.
prepare a view shed letter?
I
in
did
this
not find
application?
one.
I didn't look for it, so.
I looked for it, but I did not see it. If they buried it in a note on a plan, I
Yeah,
missed it.
sometimes it's within the plan somewhere.
Yeah, if they did that, I couldn't see
Right.
it, but. I think they really need to think about that and,
Mhm.
definitely. That's one of the things that the planning board will tell them is soften the view. So you plant your shrubs and trees in front of that. That lake
Mhm.
view there. But I don't have a lot to say other than that, but
No.
I don't know.
I think that's all good from the environmental aspect.
I
of
think
it.
this is a challenging one, and I think if they come with a landscape plan later on,
Mhm.
we can always review that and give feedback.
Mhm.
So that would be something that the planning board could always
Mhm.
kick back to us. Oh, well. But yeah, when I was looking at the plans, I'm like, really, you're cutting out those trees? So. Oh, speaking of that, the one application reviewed on New Michigan Road where it was all agreed.
Next door to you, this,
Next door to Edith, the planning board denied their special use application.
oh, wow,
Oh,
but they'll let them have the house, they could build the house,
It was all
not the
one,
barn.
it was all one application.
Oh, it was all together,
Yeah.
so they have to adjust whatever they want,
If
if
they
their
want.
plans are.
So
Wow.
he did
Or they can
send,
sell the property
Wow.
again and buy something more.
It's the
conducive.
planning board rejected or zoning board?
planning board,
Okay,
because it was a
Great.
special use
they couldn't get
permit.
it out.
okay, and that has to
That's-
go to planning board.
That's planning board.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. Wow,
And so they rejected that.
There.
back to the drawing board for the landowner, I guess.
Yeah. I
Wow.
told Sarah he's gonna put in a motocross track.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I don't even see
No, I know, but it's something to say.
It is. So.
Hmm.
Which was not.
No, no.
I think they could have worked with the planning board to put a house in there someplace and
Yeah.
and done
Yeah.
a lighter hand of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things.
well, you
the
just,
sensitivity to flooding.
Yeah,
yeah, well, it's just a really poor choice of sites for what they wanted.
what they wanted.
There are many other places for sale that would be a better fit.
Ones with public water.
Yes, ones with public water.
That was, I think, one of
That
the,
was one of the main things that they cited as
What-
far as denying it, is that there is no public water there. And it is at the top of a really shallow aquifer that's feeding wells for all the neighbors on
Mhm.
that section of
Okay.
road. And besides that, they were putting the septic tank, the septic system in the ephemeral pool.
oh,
Okay, if we noted where that was located on the site plan,
Mm,
which is not, you know.
Not a
that's
good thing.
Not a good plan.
it was wonderful because a lot of neighbors sent letters. I think there was like 5 or 6 letters that came in.
Oh, okay.
There was Edith and some of the other neighbors came to the
Banks were there and some of the
the
other
Coopers
neighbors.
on the other
Yeah.
side. They all came and spoke, and
Mhm.
the planning board rarely gets that unless it's a big housing development.
Mhm.
So
Hmm.
it was nice that people were
It
involved
was-
with
it
that.
was- Well, it was such a poorly adapted project
Yeah.
for that site. It was not well thought out.
They put their driveway. It went right over close to where the people on the other side
Yeah.
live. And so they didn't even have a 10-foot buffer in some places,
Right.
Mhm.
so.
And you know, it is again, the top of the above ground watershed that goes down to that wetland that has the heron referees in it. It feeds a stream that jumped the banks and tore out part of Yerkes Road. It's, you know,
Mhm.
it's really a sensitive area.
And flooded outhouse
Flooded out,
down there,
yes,
so it's all the same water.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
You know, the runoff coefficient for a plot like that is wooded is 15%. For hardened surfaces, the coefficient is 90%. 90% of the water is gonna run off. And, you know, an 8,000 square foot barn with 10,000 square foot
It's a lot of-
house and driveway.
A lot of
Yeah.
Driveway
coverage.
was
Yeah.
20,000
Yeah.
itself.
Right, I mean, we're just,
Right.
you know, it was not a good fit. It was not the right property for what they wanted to do. They're not the first people who have bought an unsuitable site and might have to resell it. But it is not a good fit.
No. It really wasn't.
I was so
Do you know about them?
I might know something. I know that this is a subdivision.
Mhm,
This is Foster Road.
mhm.
This is, 2 lots to have frontage on Foster Road.
Mhm.
And then there is to be a private drive
That's this,
that will
right?
have three residences off a private drive, and that's all you can do off a private drive right now. That's a new regulation in our
Without
town.
putting in a real road.
Exactly. And then one of the lots has that width and length. I think it must be the very lot number. Was it 1?
One, I
I
think,
think it's width and depth, length and width.
it's,
It's
The
the
nature
same
of the-
thing
the
that was,
parcel.
that we had just talked about on, New Michigan Road for Emery's.
mhm.
So that's what that is, 2 lots to front. He just put the houses on to give you an idea of where they might be placed. It's
I
not,
see,
it's just to give you a proposed idea. So 2 at Foster Road and then 3 more. And then the 1 lot has, I don't know how the 3 people decide on who's gonna maintain. Usually when there's a private road, they all take care of it together. But this
That-
is for the sake of subdivision.
Yeah, I know at the planning board, they require them all to like spell that out.
Yeah, they
these
want you to
days.
get it, they wanna get an idea.
So there's nobody coming back at the town later on. and it's like,
Exactly. So they wanna see kind of put a house on there so we can get, we can picture it.
I'm sure when these go for site plan.
Yeah, when they do
see
come
them
for site
again.
plan, we will.
I know it has a stream that runs back.
And then
along
way
this
back up
section.
north there, there's a gully way up there.
Ah, yes.
You can, oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
You can see, absolutely, that's really.
and then there's the Dixon Schwabel property. Remember the couple who bought the rest of the subdivision and they just created one big lot. They were going to build their house up there. And they just combined the land to make one big lot. That's the Dixon Schwabel property that borders.
Wow, I see.
And that's still in the works, I guess, for them, I think.
If I remember right, this is, which zone is this? in?
What zone are we in?
No, that one. I know what it was. Tell me, sometimes it tells me, oh, there, or 130.
I remember that. And it's right across the road from the Notre Dame property.
Yeah.
From there's like a farm field portion of it across Foster Road, but there's sewer out there
Yeah.
So those
and
two-
water out there.
Those two proposed larger lots with the slopes. I would take it something that size, they're gonna keep it wooded,
Yeah, oh yeah,
okay.
oh
okay,
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It is wooded, yeah.
They would-
Yeah, you would build in the areas where you wouldn't be dealing with that, but when a site plan comes in, then you'll
Yeah.
see what they want to propose to
I don't.
for a new
I don't
build.
have any comments about the subdivision, but definitely when the houses are planned, if,
Yeah.
staying away from the tree area or the slope area or whatever.
And there was a barn there that has come down, right at the
Okay.
road, there was that big barn.
Yeah, I
It's
think
no
I saw that
longer-
on Encore. I think
Yeah.
it's still on Encore.
It probably is, it takes them a little while to catch
Yeah.
up, but it's gone.
That was the only concern I had, given the topography of that area,
Yes.
the proximity to the
Right,
lake.
right,
To keep it as natural, as wooded as possible.
Mhm.
If they're responsible owners, good stewards,
absolutely.
it would be great to
Great.
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
that.
Keep it wooded.
I think, I agree with you, that my only comments would be for when people wanna build, then,
Yeah.
just respect.
And they
that.
have the turn is for the sake of an emergency
Yep.
vehicle, that's
Yeah.
why that looks like that,
Yeah.
that little jog in. They have to have
you know,
one.
so many
access
feet,
for
yeah.
fire engines
Exactly,
and
right.
ambulances and
Mhm.
whatnot. Yes.
That
Yeah.
might even be once there are homes built and people living there, that might even be a point of discussion with the open space or land conservation group to carve out a section of the hillside.
Yeah, you
specifically
never know. That could happen.
conserved.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, the homeowners can also work with town or land trust as well, to preserve some of these areas.
That might, keep it from being further subdivided and, house, all the way up that slope.
Yeah, I don't believe this can happen, I think once this is it,
Yeah,
because you're on the private road, you're on the private drive and they only allow 3.
yeah, the moment
So that's it.
the next subdivision happens, it's a real road that has to go in.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
like a dedicated town road
I see.
instead of a private road
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is maintained by the people who use it.
And because that road is a private road, that can't happen because the landowners can say, no, you can't, in a sense, can't take our road. Is that true?
Well, they were trying to
I'm just wondering.
achieve just getting the lots in and as building a dedicated public road is quite a costly
Okay,
thing, so.
They're just trying to avoid some of the places where the roads are a real problem down by the lake. There's a bunch of private roads that the residents complain to the town continually about, and the town can't help them because it's a private drive.
right.
That's right, that's right.
And so, they're trying to minimize, so I mean, if it's only 3 houses on this, these people should be able to work together and take care of that, and it's all spelled out before they get their site plan signed off on.
I see.
They know
Okay.
what they're buying then, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes. they do.
That's why they did that, you know, it's just to try and rein in some of that, because it's a continual headache for both residents and the town.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But with the two on Foster, you know, it doesn't trip over that particular law.
Okay, yeah, thanks for explaining.
Mhm.
There's so much more to learn.
Always, every day we learn things,
I get to hear a lot when I'm like. in
like the proper way to plant a
Yeah,
tree,
so-
a large tree.
But that was it for
Yeah, that was the
referrals,
last one.
so so yes, newsletter.
Thanks to Kim, wonderful, wonderful.
So Gary said he wanted to do geothermal, and
Yeah.
you said you wanted to do. Did you say you wanted to do something?
Well, I said maybe something for December. We were talking about the next, you said you were putting something in for November?
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
then
put,
we're gonna Pick some topics we wanna do.
Okay.
how to grow an oak tree from an acorn, so.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I'll add that in.
Yeah, I don't have any ideas right now, but
well, we'll put you at like number 4 then.
okay.
Eric to be determined.
And maybe it was you that wanted to do something, I can't.
No, we were talking about planting a tree, the
Planting
proper
a
way to
tree.
plant
Oh,
a
there you
tree.
go. That's it.
Actually, you know, toward fall is a great time to plant it, late summer to plant a tree, but
Mhm.
spring's good too.
A lot of
So,
people do it then.
I'll try, yeah, everyone gets ambitious in the spring, so I'll make sure I
So-
have something for you that.
I'll see what I can
With
come up with for
illustrations.
December.
I
or-
Do the Facebook
Yes.
page too, so if you
Yeah.
have content for that, I can take it.
Okay.
Maybe I can research the popularity of point-to-point lake kayaking.
There you
I
go.
think
Maybe
that would-
other
That's a good-
examples around the
Well, you
country.
know, they have
Yeah.
proposed a stop for kayak, the trail on Bear Hill.
Oh,
Oh, that would be
And
wonderful.
public access. There's a little spot down at the shoreline with no amenities whatsoever, but.
Just a stop.
Yeah, but it's a stop and it, you know, that's a nice
It
place to
is.
cross the lake and come
Okay.
back around, so.
that'd be town of Gorham over there.
I can't think.
Could be Middlesex.
It's, yeah, I.
I think it's Middlesex.
It may be
think you're
DEC
right.
property,
Sure.
as a matter of
Mhm.
fact. Because they have, you know, that's who maintains Bear Hill it's.
DEC, the DEC does.
So,
That's a good place just to rumble your
Yeah,
car
but,
down with the boats and put them in.
well, no, there's no, but it would be a kayak stop, it'd be a stop on the water trail for a kayak or a canoe or, you know, or a paddle boarder if you're really.
It's a lot of paddle boarding. So,
That would be a really interesting article
Yeah.
about
Yes, I know.
kayaking and the trail around the lake. I think
Yeah.
that's great.
yes, sir.
Yeah, ask Lindsay at the Watershed Association, she might have some ideas about where they've got stops on them. I know
Okay,
they were interested in the water trail.
Very nice. So yes, definitely, we
Okay.
can start that. I might not be doing it, you know, permanently, but for
For
now,
now.
Okay.
for now, that's
Very good.
the thing.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, when we were reworking the whole idea of our CIC, which is, what is it now? We have a different
I
name.
don't know what the name.
I know what it is, but I can't, advisory. Candidate advisory. Oh, I can't think of it now. It'll come to me, but it's advisory instead of an implementation.
Okay,
Mm. Citizen advisory.
How long? do you
Anyway.
want to leave your composting?
Oh,
So
wait,
then
wait,
what,
wait.
then, so we have what,
That's okay, I'm not hurting you. I just
What's that?
Lake Case, right?
what the Lake Case was.
Um,
It's,
Whenever the new one's
I
ready to
think,
go in.
okay, well, I've got one
Eric is doing it now, right?
I can put up in
yeah,
5
you
minutes,
did
but
that compost
It's,
units there now?
I think it's.
I think they're arranging.
Time because the leaf fall,
Right,
so let's leave it up until after Thanksgiving maybe.
yeah,
And then I'll switch over.
Yeah.
Cause I've got something from the tree committee. We're trying to get started with the heritage tree project.
Oh,
You
great.
know, and these are massive trees that are on town property. And so that's kind of where we're starting with it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's, you know, it's, it's already on boards and,
And if you
Oh, I
wanna
have to
send
take
something
that.
maybe in December from the tree team,
okay,
could-
I will do
or,
that.
or late November, so I can put it
Yeah,
in the December newsletter, we could
Okay,
have something about that as
Try
well.
and hit the next one.
so it is about to get officially
Mm-hmm.
launched.
Very nice.
After only a couple of
Year,
years.
yeah.
Yeah. well,
It's okay. Things come in their own time.
Yeah, well.
Training, make sure to get your 4 hours in by the end of the year. If you. It's getting short.
It is.
I think I'm good. That, the event at FLCC was, I think, 4
That was
hours, sorry.
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
We also have, Lindsay sent it out, there's like a workplace harassment training thing. I
Oh,
can't-
gosh, we have to do
Oh,
that,
yes, we
right?
have to do that, I know. I have
Yep,
I can remember to do that.
do a year because I have to do one for the church that I play for.
Oh,
Really.
for goodness sake.
Oh, yes.
Who gets harassed at church? Well, come to think of it.
Yeah, come to think of it, lots of people, yeah.
so,
Of
we
course.
did the German Brothers one, so
Mhm.
across that.
Mhm.
We have 15, if I remember right. I asked yesterday, I think it's $1,550.
That we need to spend for next year.
Mhm. I was gonna suggest, like some flowering shrubs. Cause they're always buying like trees, but maybe some flowering shrubs or other shrubs might be nice for an Ononda. There's a lot of like nasty stuff down below.
Oh, there's, yeah,
They totally mowed Miller Park. It's just a big field now.
yeah,
Oh,
they mow
yeah.
it annually, actually.
Yeah,
you know.
the first time I
Yeah.
saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh. But
You know,
yeah,
actually, we might think about some shrubs for the section of Miller Park that's over near Bliss Road. You know where that extension is, and there's a little wetland that doesn't belong to us. Originally, Dennis and I had made plans for it. I made the plans and Dennis planted stuff. But we were planning that as a bird watching area, and we had planted blueberry bushes along the road, raspberry bushes along the field, which are all good bird food, but we thought it would keep people from trespassing onto the farmer's field who was worried about, you know,
Okay.
raspberries being what they are. That was just a nice barrier. And those got mowed off by the
Oh.
prior park. People
Oh, okay.
not too bad. I
slaughtered.
thought you were gonna say the deer ate them or something.
No, deer have, you know, they have plenty of forage besides.
Maybe
raspberries.
that would be.
Maybe we
a
can try
great
again.
choice.
But some raspberry bushes for that barrier would be nice, you know, I can't even remember who it was called up and wanted to know if there was a place to put birdhouses up, and I said, yes, you know, along the trail that goes from the major part of the park over to this little area on Bliss Road, you know, that those would be great bluebird house places.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
maybe we can do that.
that would be, yeah. And there's plenty of spacing because bluebirds like to have.
So
room
you're
between
saying
boxes.
birdhouses?
Well, we could, it,
Would be about
I need to
$50
go
item
check
maybe
and
to,
see how many there, if anybody put some up, cause I haven't. But really, I think, you know, we could put some bushes in there that would be great bird habitat.
Yeah.
As well as defining the space, you
Mhm.
know, it would be nice to keep, snowmobilers off of that corner that goes around, you know. And truly, you know, the town originally wanted to buy that wetland
Yeah.
also, and it was not for sale.
Hmm.
But there's no reason we can't use it as bird watching area because there were plenty of birds in there. Including at one time anyway, some wood ducks that were nesting, and I
Okay.
think maybe it's filled in more now since then. I see that Phragmites growing, but it was
Yeah,
standing water enough that it was really attracting a lot of different birds. And of course, the grassland at Miller is wonderful for grassland birds.
Oh, yeah.
There's all kinds
It's a,
of stuff.
it's
that
a,
you
it's
don't
a
see.
neat park.
Yeah, it is. You know, there are bobolinks there that you don't see anyplace else.
so some good flowering ones that produce fruit and
Yes,
stuff like
yes,
that.
yes.
Would be and they're have appeal too, because they flower, so people would like that.
Right, well,
Dogs certainly like the
Excuse
park. Now the grass is mowed, they're like, wow, we can go anywhere.
I know.
yeah.
No, you can't. But sometimes they'll try to bound over into the farmer's field, something they like to nibble on over there, so I'm all for the raspberry.
I was mostly thinking people, you know,
Oh,
because,
dogs too.
yes, the,
We let them leave and all around about
Oh,
200
I
yards.
can't ever
down
let mine off the
and
leash.
call
She'd
them.
be, I don't know where she'd wind up.
Husky?
Put 'em on leash.
Just a golden retriever, you can't behave off the leash, so
I know, well, it's a great. place
she's
for
5, but
dogs.
she still needs,
Oh,
she still
It's all
needs
contained,
training.
but now without the tall grass.
But that's a great
Yeah,
place for
yeah.
you to walk. That's a good idea, raspberries.
Raspberries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where, or did you plant, like the native raspberry, or was it?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just,
Like the ones that grow wild
Yeah.
kind of
The
thing.
black caps?
They take over.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, well, they make their own natural barrier.
They
They
do.
do.
And, provide a lot of bird food and, you know,
they're hard to come by to find, to
Yeah,
buy things
yeah,
that
I
aren't like cultivars and stuff
yeah,
like that.
well, even those are better than, you know,
Yeah.
birds will still eat those. But, you know, mostly it was kind of defining the space, you know, there are other things, elderberries, whatnot, that birds like that are. I mean, once you get them established and don't mow them off, they are maintenance free.
Maintenance free, yeah. Elderberries would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just another thought.
Okay.
So,
So, no, that would be a great place to put some shrubbery.
yeah.
Yeah.
It would, shrubbery.
Shrubbery.
Yeah.
I was looking at White Oak Nursery, and they do have some shrubs and stuff like
Yes, they
that,
have-
so.
Yeah.
You have any suggestions, I can always. You know, put that forward so they can spend our money before it goes away.
Yeah.
So we
I-
still have money in the kitty for the rest of this year,
Uh-huh.
so we need to
Oh,
do
good.
something with that.
So that's what I was,
Yeah, cause we didn't do our environmental fair this year, so.
I think this would be a good
Yeah.
use.
yeah, our budget is for trees and training. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
that's what it's split out
I
into.
see.
So when we do things like the FLCC, you know, it would come out of that.
Right.
that money.
Okay,
And so trees and training, that's what we get.
That sounds like us.
And so, yeah, we'll make that. Make that, so if you have some suggestions, if you want to take a look at what, I can always suggest things. And,
yes, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
that was it for today, unless you have something from the tree board to share.
No, let's see, the last thing we did was walk the uplands at Ononda. And we found that the woolly adelgid treatments have helped. It's the hemlocks are still apparently adelgid free. We could not find any trace of the little
Wonderful.
woolies on the uplands.
Great.
We're very pleased. There was a section of it where there are a great number of tulip poplars springing up, which was a very pleasant find also.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and we did discuss at great length the plans for enlarging the accommodations at Ononda and where the road was going to go and how many trees are going to have to be removed for that, which was in some ways fairly distressing.
Mhm.
It kind of depends upon what your vision for that park is. If it is to encourage more campers and more revenue, that's one thing. If it's to encourage town residents to come out and hike and enjoy nature, that's another.
Mhm.
So,
Well, maybe
yes,
they
and
can,
it will, absolutely increase tremendously the runoff from that hill headed down. And, you know, it's going to be important to make sure that those roads are not turning into a sluice way.
It's quite a project there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It, that's steep. It's very
It is
steep.
steep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and, you know, more roofs and more pavement is increasing the amount and the velocity of water coming downhill.
You guys wanna see this? Did you see this?
I haven't seen that, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So those were, that was what the tree tour was about.
Mhm.
There are invasive species in there. There's a huge, multiflora rose space, and there's Japanese bittersweet that is strangling some trees. It is, however, in much better shape than it has been. The parks guys have worked on the trails, and they have removed a lot of the things that were dead and hanging over the trails. There's been some really good work done.
Yeah.
And more to be done, but boy, have
They really have.
they have, I can't say enough good things about the guys working at the parks these days.
Good.
They are just terrific.
Mhm.
very nice.
And
My wife and I went up a couple Saturdays and orange taped the dead and dying trees, and I was surprised within, say, 3 weeks, the guys had taken down almost all of them. Next time we went back, all the rest, you know, that was
Yes.
wonderful.
they have been very active, very responsive. Andy attends all of the tree committee meetings.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I know, is on his time, you know, but it's, he's very eager to learn. Dan Marion, who is on that committee, is an arborist
Mhm.
and extreme, I learn something from him every time I go out. I just. And Andy is just right there listening, learning,
Yeah.
doing, you know, ready to. He's great. He's
Very
so
cool.
real fine.
We could use about 3 more of him.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, his crew is very good, you know, they are. Super. Things have improved tremendously.
Wonderful. I will pass that feedback along to Lindsay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
he really is a great guy
Mhm,
and very, very passionate about
mhm,
protecting parkland, townland.
mhm. Really conscientious, really concerned about each one, well, you know, this weeping, whatever it's supposed to, you know, over here, he's wanting to know what's wrong with it, and what do I do, and what, you know. Bringing us here to do that, when it really wasn't on the agenda for the meeting, but he wanted us to come and take a look at this.
Very
Great,
nice,
just great.
very nice. So yeah, I will definitely pass along. that
Thank
good
you.
You know, nice feedback is always a joy to give.
Mhm.
Yes.
He really deserves it.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Same.
Perfect. So. If anybody has anything else to share, otherwise we can have a motion to go home and pick our feet up. And
Yes.
I think that
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're done.